Right then, let's talk about Jaguar, a name that screams speed, style, and a touch of British eccentricity. You see, back in the 1920s, cars were just clunky boxes on wheels. Then came along William Lyons and William Walmsley, two blokes with a vision. They started Swallow sidecars, building stylish sidecars for motorcycles. But they wanted more. They wanted to build cars, proper cars. Swallow sidecars became SS cars, and their first creation was the SS1. A sleek, low-slung machine that turned heads wherever it went. It was a sign of things to come. The SS1 was a hit, and soon more models followed, each one pushing the boundaries of design and performance. These early Jaguars, they were different. They had a certain flair, a certain something that other cars just didn't have. The SS90, launched in 1935, was another step forward. It was faster, more powerful, and even more stylish than its predecessors. It was becoming clear that SS cars was a force to be reckoned with. But then came the Second World War, putting a halt to their automotive dreams. But Lyons, the crafty devil, didn't just sit around twiddling his thumbs. Oh no, he used the war years to cook up something truly special. Something that would make the automotive world sit up and take notice. After the war, SS cars rebranded as Jaguar. The name, inspired by the sleek and powerful animal, was a perfect fit. Jaguar was back, and they were ready to roar. The first car to wear the Jaguar badge was the Mark V. It was a luxurious saloon, but it was the XK120 that truly announced Jaguar's arrival on the world stage. The XK120, launched in 1948, was a revelation. It was a proper sports car with a heart-stopping design and a top speed of 120 mph. The car world went bonkers. It was the fastest production car at the time, and it showed the world what Jaguar was capable of. The XK120 wasn't just about speed, though. It was a thing of beauty, those curves, that long bonnet, the way it seemed to glide through the air. It was art on wheels. The XK120 was a runaway success, and it spawned a whole lineage of legendary sports cars. The XK140 and XK150 followed, each one more powerful and refined than the last. These cars weren't just for the road, though. Jaguar took them racing, and they dominated. Le Mans, Mille Miglia, you name it, a Jaguar probably won it. They were the kings of the track, and their road cars benefited from their racing pedigree. The XK120 wasn't just a pretty face. Underneath that sculpted bonnet was a marvel of engineering. The XK engine, a 3.4-litre twin-cam inline-six, was a masterpiece. It was powerful, reliable, and it sounded absolutely glorious. The XK engine would go on to power Jaguars for decades, becoming one of the most iconic engines of all time. The XK120 was a game-changer for Jaguar. It established them as a major player in the automotive world. No longer were they just a small British company building stylish cars. They were now a force to be reckoned with, a company that could go toe-to-toe with the best in the world, and they weren't afraid to push the boundaries. The XK120 was just the beginning. Jaguar was on a roll, and they were just getting started. The next few decades would see them produce some of the most iconic and desirable cars the world has ever seen. Cars that would cement Jaguar's place in automotive history. If the XK120 put Jaguar on the map, the D-Type made them legends. This was a car built for one purpose, to win at Le Mans. And win it did, 3 times in a row from 1955 to 1957. The D-Type was a technological marvel. It was one of the first cars to use a monocoque chassis, which made it incredibly strong and lightweight. It also had a slippery aerodynamic body that allowed it to slice through the air. But the D-Type's secret weapon was its engine. The XK engine had been tweaked and tuned to produce even more power. It screamed down the Mulsanne straight at over 170 mph, leaving its rivals for dead. The D-Type's victories at Le Mans were more than just race wins. They were a statement. They showed that Jaguar was a force to be reckoned with on the world stage. The D-Type's legacy lived on long after its racing days were over. It inspired a generation of car enthusiasts and cemented Jaguar's reputation for building beautiful, high-performance machines. But Jaguar wasn't done yet. They were just getting started. The best was yet to come. Section 5, the E-Type, an icon of the swinging 60s. And then came the E-Type. Oh Lord, the E-Type. Even Enzo Ferrari, that grumpy Italian maestro, called it the most beautiful car ever made. He wasn't wrong. Launched in 1961, the E-Type was a sensation. It was like nothing else on the road. It was low, sleek, and impossibly glamorous. It was the car that every man wanted to drive and every woman wanted to be seen in. And drive it they did. The E-Type was a proper sports car, with a top speed of 150 miles per hour, and handling that could shame cars twice its price. It was also surprisingly affordable, which just made it even more desirable. The E-Type became a symbol of the swinging 60s. It was the car of choice for rock stars, actors, and anyone who wanted to make a statement. But the E-Type wasn't just a pretty face. It was a technological marvel, with independent suspension, disc brakes all round, and that glorious XK engine. It was a car that could be enjoyed by everyone, from the seasoned racer to the Sunday driver. The E-Type was a triumph of design, engineering, and sheer British brilliance. It's no wonder that it remains one of the most iconic and sought-after cars of all time. Section 6, the XJ, redefining luxury and performance. While Jaguar was busy setting hearts racing with the E-Type, they didn't forget about luxury. In 1968, they launched the XJ, a saloon that redefined what a luxury car could be. The XJ was everything a Jaguar should be: stylish, luxurious and powerful. It had presence, the kind that made other cars pull over in awe. The XJ's design was timeless, a masterpiece of elegant lines and perfect proportions. Inside, it was a haven of leather, wood and chrome. But the XJ wasn't just about looks. It was also a driver's car. The XJ's handling was sublime thanks to its advanced suspension and powerful engine options. It could waft along in comfort one minute, then attack a twisty road the next. The XJ was a huge success for Jaguar, becoming their flagship model and a symbol of British luxury. It went through several iterations over the years, each one better than the last. The XJ proved that Jaguar could do luxury just as well as they did sports cars. They were a company that could cater to every taste, from the thrill-seeker to the discerning gentleman. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and roses for Jaguar. They had their fair share of ups and downs, like any good British car maker. The 1970s and 80s were particularly tough, with quality issues and a bit of an identity crisis. They went through a few owners too. First, it was British Leyland, which was a bit like trying to herd cats. Then came Ford, which had its moments. But through it all, the Jaguar spirit, that spark of brilliance, never quite went out. They kept producing cars that were, at their best, absolutely bloody brilliant. The XJS, for example, was a bit of a Marmite car when it first came out. People didn't know what to make of it, but underneath that unusual styling was a proper Jaguar. It was fast, it handled well, and it had that certain something. And then there was the XJ 220. Oh my, the XJ 220. This was a car that was supposed to be powered by a V12 engine and have a top speed of over 220 miles per hour. In the end, it got a turbocharged V6 and only managed 213 miles per hour. Some people were disappointed, but those who actually drove the thing, they knew. They knew that the XJ 220 was a legend. These days, Jaguar's firing on all cylinders again. They're part of Tata Motors now, which seems to suit them. They're still building stunning sports cars like the F-Type. Have you heard that thing? It sounds like a thunderstorm in a phone box. And the F-Pace, their first SUV, it's selling like hotcakes. Who'd have thought it? A Jaguar SUV? But it works, it really does. But Jaguar's not just about clinging to the past. They're embracing the future too. They're investing heavily in electric vehicles like the I-Pace. It's a proper electric car, this one. Fast, stylish and with a decent range. It shows that Jaguar is serious about sustainability without sacrificing performance. They're even dabbling in autonomous driving technology. The thing about Jaguar is they've always been innovators. They were one of the first manufacturers to use disc brakes. They pioneered the use of monocoque construction, and they were at the forefront of aerodynamic design. And now they're leading the charge towards a more sustainable future. Good for them, I say. Jaguar's commitment to electrification is clear. They've pledged to become an all-electric brand by 2025. That's a bold move, but it's the right one. The future of motoring is electric, and Jaguar is determined to be at the forefront of this revolution. The I-Pace was just the beginning. They've got a whole range of electric vehicles in the pipeline, from sleek saloons to practical SUVs. And they're not just focusing on the cars themselves. Jaguar is also investing in charging infrastructure, making it easier for owners to charge their electric vehicles. They're working on developing new battery technologies too, to improve range and performance. Jaguar is going all in on electric, and I, for one, am excited to see what they come up with. It's not just about being environmentally friendly either. Electric cars offer a unique driving experience. The instant torque, the silent acceleration, it's something special. And Jaguar, with their heritage of building exciting and engaging cars, are perfectly placed to take advantage of this new technology. So there you have it. Jaguar, a brand that's been around for almost a century and they're still going strong. They've built some of the most iconic and desirable cars the world has ever seen, from the XK120 to the E-Type to the modern-day F-Type. They've had their ups and downs, but they've always come back fighting. And now they're embracing the future, leading the charge towards a more sustainable and electric future. But one thing's for sure, whatever the future holds, Jaguar will do it with style, with grace, and with that unmistakable touch of British flair. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a date with an F-Type. I hear it's got a supercharger that'll blow your socks off.